there any objection?
No.
My wife cheated for 25 years. I exposed her, and the groom's affair live at the wedding. I was supposed to be walking my daughter down the aisle. Instead, I stood at the altar, remote in hand, ready to press play. 25 years of marriage, a lifetime of lies, and a daughter who wasn't mine. It all led to this one precise moment. Today, I don't just give away the bride. I detonate my family live in front of 300 guests, and every single lie she ever told will be burned to the ground. You are about to hear the meticulous plan that secured my revenge, my sanity, and my future. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a story that proves the oldest saying is true. Hell hath no fury like a father and daughter scorned. This isn't just a story about a cheating wife. It's about systemic, decades-long betrayal and the calculated, surgical revenge that followed. This story comes from Alex Taylor, a man who lost everything but gained a terrifying clarity. Before we get into the details of the wedding day, if you believe the truth always wins in the end, hit that like button and subscribe right now. It's the easiest way to support us, and make sure you never miss another unbelievable real-life drama like this one. The morning of the detonation, the morning of Sophie's wedding, I found myself in my workshop at 5 a.m. The air was thick and heavy, both with the coming summer heat and the suffocating weight of my secrets. I was gripping a steel beam, my hands trembling not from weakness, but from coiled intensity. For 25 years, I had been Dean Carter. No, wait, Alex Taylor, the devoted husband, the proud father, the hardworking man building a perfect life. I had built the pergola outside, I had tested every single string light 3 times, and I had paid for a dance floor that cost me 6 months of overtime. It was all a monument to a life that had never been real. 25 years of marriage, 23 years raising my first daughter, 14 years believing my youngest, Mia, was mine. All lies. My name is Alex Taylor, and I was about to watch my family explode in front of 300 guests. And yes, for the first time in months, I was smiling. It was the smile of a man who held all the cards, ready to play them all at once. Around 7 a.m., Sophie appeared at the workshop door, still in her pajamas, holding a coffee mug. At 23, she had her mother Clara's refined elegance, but she possessed my pragmatic and analytical mind. Dad, you've been out here since dawn. The wedding isn't until 4. Just want everything perfect for my girl, I replied, forcing a lightness into my voice. I asked about her mother. Sophie's voice carried an odd, hesitant note. She left early, said something about final dress fittings. Then came the question, the one I had been dreading, yet secretly waiting for. She sat on my workbench, suddenly looking younger than her years. Dad, can I ask you something? Do you think Brendan really loves me? The question hit me like a physical blow. Brendan Holloway, the ambitious young attorney with political connections, was everything the world said a perfect son-in-law should be. But I had seen the subtle cues. I had seen the way his eyes tracked Clara across a room during family dinners. The extra attention he paid to her. The way he knew exactly how she liked her coffee without ever asking her. Instead of confessing my suspicions, I gave her the standard parental advice. Normal cold feet, honey. Marriage is a big step. It's not cold feet, she insisted, taking a shaky breath. I think he's in love with someone else. Little things. The way he lights up when mom calls. How he always asks about her first. Yesterday, I caught him staring at her photo on the mantle for like 5 minutes. I froze. My own observations were being confirmed by the one person I was trying to protect. Eliza, that's a serious accusation. I know, she said, looking directly at me with eyes far older than her 23 years. And I hope I'm wrong. But Dad, what if I'm not? Before I could formulate a response, the kitchen door slid open and Clara appeared. Even at 7 a.m., she looked flawless, immaculate makeup, not a hair out of place, wearing a sundress that probably cost more than my weekly paycheck. Alex, you're going to exhaust yourself before the ceremony, she said, her voice carrying that cultured, perfected tone from her years on the school board. And Sophie, you should be getting ready. We have appointments all morning. "Morning, sweetheart," I said, studying her face intently. "You're up early." She avoided my gaze. "Busy day?" Brendan called. "He wants to stop by around 10 to discuss some last-minute details." Sophie's expression tightened almost imperceptibly. "What details?" "Something about the seating arrangements," Clara replied, her smile not quite reaching her eyes. "You know how particular his family is. We should probably discuss it privately. Politics and all that." The tension in the workshop was so thick, you could cut it with a butter knife. After Clara left, Sophie turned back to me. "What appointment? Just some business stuff?" I lied easily. The truth was, I had cleared my entire day. I knew something was going down, and I intended to be there for every second of it. Sophie studied my face for a long moment, then asked, "Dad, if you found out something terrible about someone you loved, would you want to know?" "Always," I said without hesitation. Truth is the only foundation worth building on, even if it destroyed everything, especially then. The proof and the paternity bomb 2 hours later. I was supposed to be finalizing an electrical contract. Instead, I was crouched behind the garden shed, watching Brendan's expensive BMW pull into our driveway. Through the kitchen window, I saw Clara waiting, having changed into a different silky, form-fitting dress. Perfect attire for a seating arrangements discussion. Brendan entered the house like he owned the place. Within minutes, they were standing too close by the kitchen island. I couldn't hear their words, but their body language was screaming. Then, Clara's hand touched his chest. My hands clenched into fists. 25 years of marriage, and she was caressing another man in our kitchen on our daughter's wedding day. I was ready to storm inside when I noticed movement upstairs, a shadow in Sophie's bedroom window. She was watching too. Brendan's hands moved to Clara's waist. She leaned into him, her head tilted back. They were about to kiss when, suddenly, he stepped back and said something I couldn't hear. Clara laughed, a sound I hadn't heard from her in years, light, genuine, and happy. I watched my wife of 25 years transform into someone vibrant, someone alive in a way she hadn't been with me in a decade. Then, his hands were in her hair, and they were kissing with the passion of teenagers. My vision went red. I took a step toward the house, ready to end it all, when Sophie's hand locked on my arm. "Dad, don't." "Not yet." "Sophie, I know what it is." She cut me off, her voice steady despite her shaking hands. "I've known for weeks. I've been documenting everything. Times, dates, locations. I hired a private investigator last month." I stared at her. "You what?" "I'm not stupid, Dad. I've watched them. The lingering looks, the private conversations, the way Mom lights up." She pulled out her phone. "Want to see what we found?" The first photo showed Brendan and Clara entering a hotel. Timestamp: 3 weeks ago. "There are 17 different occasions," Sophie said quietly. "All documented. Why didn't you tell me?" "Because I needed proof." And she looked at me with cold calculation. I wanted to give them enough rope to hang themselves. Inside, they had moved to the living room couch. Brendan's hands were roaming freely, and Clara was responding like a woman starved for affection. "We're going to stop this," I hissed, taking another step. "No." Sophie's voice was sharp. "We're going to let them finish. We need them to think they're safe, comfortable, confident, for their performance this afternoon." That evening, with Clara at her final dress fitting, Sophie and I were back in the workshop, surrounded by evidence that would have made a prosecutor weep with joy. I finally asked her about the private investigator. "His name is Russell Blackwood," she said. "He's your brother." I looked up sharply. "What?" "I found him through his website. Didn't realize the connection until I met him. He said he's been trying to reach you for years. He took the case personally, said something about family loyalty. Russell, my older brother, who had disappeared 20 years ago after a falling out, was working for us for free. He had traced the affair for at least 4 months. Then, Sophie handed me a single sheet of paper. The lab report. My hands started shaking as I read the result. Mia Taylor was not my biological daughter. 14 years. 14 years of love, protection, and devotion, all based on Clara's deception. I whispered the name of the real father, David Ashford, the disgraced former state senator. Love letters from Clara, spanning nearly 2 decades, confirmed it. Letters talking about their future, about leaving their spouses, about the child they'd created, Mia. Ashford's been providing financial support, Sophie added, pulling out another document. About $2,000 a month for the past 14 years, hidden through some kind of trust. My wife had been having an affair for decades. My youngest daughter wasn't mine, and her real father had been paying us unknowingly all this time. But even that wasn't the end. Brendan wasn't just sleeping with Clara. He was embezzling from his law firm's client escrow accounts. He was stealing money to buy gifts for my wife, who was using our money and her lover's support to finance her affairs. The layers of betrayal were dizzying. I needed to confront them immediately. No, Dad, we stick to the plan. If we confront them now, they confess, we cancel, and they play the victim. Grant disappears. Mom plays the sufferer. Mia is caught in the middle. So what are you suggesting? Public humiliation, complete and total destruction of their reputations. Tomorrow, in front of 300 guests, we expose everything. The affair, the embezzlement, the paternity fraud. When they can't run or hide or spin the narrative. I studied Sophie's face. And you lose your wedding day. Sophie smiled, but there was no warmth in it. Dad, I stopped wanting to marry Brendan the minute I realized he was sleeping with my mother. This isn't about my wedding anymore. This is about justice. The depth of this betrayal, the affairs, the financial fraud, the paternity lie is truly staggering. If you're completely hooked by Alex and Sophie's plan, please take a second to subscribe to the channel right now. We rely on your support to bring these true stories to life. And trust me, you absolutely want to see the footage of the wedding day explosion. Don't scroll away. The most satisfying part of this story is about to unfold. Showtime at the altar, I woke up on Sophie's wedding day with a terrifying clarity. I was no longer the man who lived a lie. I was the man ready to execute the truth. Clara was already moving around the bedroom, a nervous energy surrounding her. Big day, she said without looking at me. Biggest day, I agreed. After she left, I opened a safe hidden behind our wedding photo. Inside were the divorce papers Russell had helped me prepare, signed and notarized, along with a USB drive containing every piece of evidence. Today, one way or another, this would all be over. Downstairs, the house was buzzing. Caterers, florists, photographers, all documenting what they thought was a fairy tale. Mia was at the kitchen table, eating cereal. Morning, Dad. Mom's freaking out about everything being perfect. I studied her face, really studied it. Now that I knew the truth, I could see the differences, the shape of her eyes, the set of her jaw. How did I miss it for 14 years? Dad, you okay? Mia asked, just thinking about how grown up you're getting. You'll always be my little girl. The words came out more forcefully than intended. Mia looked at me strangely. You've been acting weird lately. Wedding stress? Yeah, if Sophie actually goes through with it, Mia added, rolling her eyes. I went perfectly still. What do you mean? She's been acting strange too. Yesterday, I caught her crying, but she said they were happy tears. I think she finally figured out that Brendan's a creep. My heart pounded. What makes you say that? The way he looks at Mom, Mia said, disgusted. Like the way guys look at girls they want to. You know, it's gross. He's supposed to marry Sophie, not stare at her mom. My own 14-year-old daughter had seen the truth I had chosen to ignore for months. At 9 a.m., I met Russell in the garage. He showed me the small remote control. This connects to the projection system. When you give the signal, everything starts. What's the signal? Sophie will ask if anyone has any objections to the marriage. That's your cue. And if I change my mind? Russell studied my face. Alex, I've spent 2 decades investigating cheating spouses and corrupt politicians. Trust me, public exposure is the only thing that works. You need to do this for yourself, for Sophie, and for Mia. I thought about the love letters, the hotel receipts, the DNA test, and Brendan's hands on Clara in my living room. No, I'm not changing my mind. At noon, the guests started arriving. I played the role of the proud father, greeting judges and society types who looked down their noses at my working-class money. I watched Brendan work the crowd, a charming thief and homewrecker. I watched him catch his breath when Clara appeared at the top of the stairs in her mother of the bride dress. They were 3 feet apart, surrounded by family, and yet they were making eyes at each other. The fool was genuinely infatuated with my wife. Finally, the music changed to the traditional wedding march. Sophie appeared, radiant and determined in her grandmother's gown. We walked slowly down the aisle, my arm linked through hers. 300 pairs of eyes were on us, but all I could focus on was the USB drive in my pocket. When we reached the altar, I kissed Sophie's cheek and turned to face Brendan. "Take care of her," I said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "I will, sir," he replied. Liar. I took my seat next to Clara. She squeezed my hand and smiled, a practiced mask of wifely affection. The minister began the ceremony, talking about love, commitment, and fidelity. I wondered if the words tasted like ash in Brendan and Clara's mouths. Then came the moment. If anyone here has any reason why these two should not be joined in marriage, speak now or forever hold your peace. I stood up slowly. My heart was hammering against my ribs, but my voice was clear, carrying across the silent crowd. "I do," I said. The silence shattered. Confused murmurs, shocked gasps. Brendan's face went white. "Mr. Taylor, what are you?" "I'm talking." I interrupted, my voice carrying the authority of 25 years of frustration and pain. Everyone here deserves to know exactly who they're celebrating today. I pulled out the remote. Behind the altar, the screen dropped. Brendan Holloway and my wife, Clara, have been having an affair for months. I have proof. The surveillance photo of them entering the hotel flashed on the screen. The crowd erupted. But that's not all. I continued, my voice somehow cutting through the noise. Brendan has also been embezzling money from his law firm to pay for gifts for my wife. And Clara has been stealing from our joint accounts to finance their affair. Financial records and bank statements, highlighted in red, appeared. But the best part, I said, my voice turning to ice, is that my youngest daughter, Mia, isn't actually my child. She is a result of another affair Clara had 14 years ago with Senator David Ashford. The DNA test results filled the screen. The entire crowd had gone completely silent now. 300 people stared at the visual evidence of a betrayal so complete, so devastating. It was almost mythological. Brendan bolted, pushing through the crowd toward the parking area. But Russell was waiting. My brother stepped out from behind a tree and clotheslined Brendan so hard the younger man skidded 3 feet. "Going somewhere?" Russell asked mildly. Clara was sobbing, trying to reach the screen, but Sophie blocked her path. "Did you really think we were that stupid?" Sophie asked her mother. "Did you think we'd never figure it out?" "Sophie, please, you don't understand." "I understand perfectly. You've been sleeping with my fiancé, in our house, on our furniture, with our money." 2 police cars pulled into the driveway. Russell had been busy. I watched Brendan's face crumble as he was arrested. Then I found Mia in the crowd. "Dad, what's happening?" she asked, looking terrified. "Come on, sweetheart. Let's go inside and talk." The aftermath and the rebuilding 3 hours later, the chaos had died down. The police had taken Brendan. The guests were gone. Clara had locked herself in the bedroom, waiting for her lawyer. Sophie was in the kitchen, still in her wedding dress, calmly eating a sandwich. "Any regrets?" I asked her. "No," she said without hesitation. "For the first time in months, I feel like I can breathe." They ruined their own lives. We just made sure everyone knew about it. I looked at my formidable daughter. "What about your mother? What about her?" She made her choices. We had spent 2 hours with Mia, explaining everything as gently as possible. She had cried and asked many questions, but ultimately seemed relieved. "I always felt like there were secrets in our house," she said. "Now everything is out in the open." She understood that the man who raised her was still her father in every way that mattered. 3 weeks later, I was signing the final divorce papers. Brendan had been sentenced to 2 years in prison. Clara had lost her job with the school district and faced criminal charges. The media attention was intense, but slowly faded. "How are you doing?" my lawyer asked. I thought about it. I was divorced, single, parenting a teenager, and the center of a very public revenge story. "I'm doing okay. For the first time in years, I know exactly where I stand with everyone in my life. No more lies, No more deception. It's actually liberating. 6 months later, Sophie graduated with her master's in counseling psychology. I want to specialize in family therapy, specifically helping families deal with betrayal and rebuilding trust, she told me. What we went through, what we survived, it could help other families. A year later, Russell stopped by my now expanded workshop. He was writing a book. What would you call it? I asked. Before she said, I do. How the father and daughter exposed 25 years of lies in 25 minutes. Catchy. He told me Clara wanted to meet. Closure, maybe understanding. She says she's been in therapy working through why she made the choices she made. 2 weeks later, I met Clara at a coffee shop. She looked older, tired, and somehow more real than she had in years. Dean, Alex, I need you to know how sorry I am. Not just for getting caught, but for what I did. The lying, the betrayal, the years of deception. Why, Clara? I asked. Why throw away our family for Brendan? Why let me believe Mia was mine for 14 years? She was quiet for a long time. I felt invisible. She finally confessed. I felt like I was just going through the motions. Brendan made me feel alive again. And Mia, I couldn't bear to take your love for her away from either of you. I was a coward. I studied her face. She looked genuinely remorseful, but sincerity didn't undo 25 years of lies. I don't blame you for exposing everything the way you did, she said. You and Sophie had every right to protect yourselves. I hope you find some peace, I told her before leaving. 2 years after the wedding day explosion, Sophie was co-authoring a research paper based on our case. Reconstructive Justice: How One Family Used Public Exposure to Heal from Systemic Betrayal. The betrayal nearly destroyed us, but the truth saved us. We learned that a family built on truth was stronger than a family built on comfortable lies. I closed the advanced copy of the paper and looked around at my life. Mia was a thriving, confident 16-year-old. Sophie was building a career helping others. I was running a successful business. We had lost the family we thought we had, but we'd built something better. A family based on truth, trust, and genuine love.